Welcome back to a new video. So this was the lightest workout that I've had of the first three, I suppose. And it wasn't really because I didn't feel good on this particular day. My sleep has actually been tremendous these last couple days. I've made a couple of adjustments. One, I've made sure that I've gone to bed just a little bit earlier. So instead of going to bed at like 3 in the morning, because this is summer, I go to bed at like 1 or 1:30. Before 2 for sure, and that seems to have a really big positive impact. But I've had a sleeping mask for a while to help block out some of the light, so that isn't new. But I got different earplugs, and they're pretty generic. They're just the regular foam ones, but I put them a little bit deeper in my ear, and I don't know if they are a denser version or if I was just actually properly putting them in, but it does block out a ton of the noise, because one of the big noises that happens at night is just the air conditioning. It does make a lot of noise, and it's not like crazy, but it is noise that's there. Then obviously anything else that is in the background just happening, people walking around or getting up in the morning and whatnot, but it blocks out a ton of that noise. I was actually wanting to practice using my alarm to make sure it wasn't so noise canceling that I wouldn't hear my alarm, but I had them all the way in and I was able to listen to my phone, so I figured it'd be alright. But I'll have to try it closer to the school year. Obviously don't want to try it on an actual work day and oversleep or something crazy like that, but certainly has been helping, especially in the mornings when there's more noise around. I'm able to just continue to sleep a little bit more or go back to sleep, so that's been a really nice thing. And I think that's a big reason why these sessions I've been able to work really hard at them. I just have a lot more just general energy. But this workout I waited till very late in the day to do, because I was a bit sore from the previous sessions and it was super hot still. I waited till I think after 10, that's why I have the shed doors closed, and I wasn't doing a ton of the full movements, so I wasn't worried about having the pads out. If I was going to be doing like a full normal workout this late, then I put the crash pads out just for the neighbors. But I don't think the platform is, or I should say, the platform I think protects against a lot of the vibrations that were probably bothering the one neighbor. The one thing that he pointed out before that, it's like it's shaking my house because the weights or whatever. He didn't seem to really care. He just kind of mentioned that because he was curious what I was doing in the shed or what kind of weights I was lifting. But with this platform, because of how bouncy it is, like you see there how it bounces up, it absorbs a lot of it. The only negative that I've seen of it is on the corners, some of the nails start to come up during the end of a session, but I put so many nails along the edge, along the rubber, that it is staying down really well. I'm not worried about it like coming up during a set or anything. It's just something that I kind of pay attention to during a session. And if I'm doing a ton of weightlifting work, then I kind of look at it, and then if anything looks weird, particularly on the left side, then I just hammer it back down. But it hasn't been a big issue or anything, so that part has been good. But as you saw, I didn't push the snatches too crazily hard. I pushed up a little bit more because I did split it up from that complex that I had originally and just did the no hook no foot snatches, and I missed the double at 90, the second rep. Well, that's right, because I just didn't have the energy. If you notice there in my last set of clean and jerks how the light turned off, I think it was my last set. It was not an editing error. I didn't edit a blank space. My roommates were letting their dogs out, and it flipped, or she flipped the light of the shed off by accident, and so I was holding the jerk for an extra second, but thankfully they flipped right back on, as you notice. But it gets really dark in there without the light and the doors closed. It is pitch black. There's no auxiliary lights in there, so it is slightly scary, but thankfully it's only 100 kilograms and I had it in my front rack, so it wasn't in the middle of anything. But it kind of keeps you on your toes, I suppose, but it doesn't happen. I think the last time it happened was probably like 6 months ago, so not anything that I'm too terribly worried about. I always don't want to freak them out if they hear the weights drop after the light turns off, that I died or something out there. But it's always just kind of funny. Like I said, thankfully not doing anything too crazy in this workout, so didn't have to worry about anything. Did some more box jumps there. I keep getting these in the workouts, which I'm not necessarily opposed to, but I may substitute like I did, so the workout after this, I substituted box jumps that I was given again for some just hip work. The main hip work I think I'm going to be using is that band behind me. I think I mentioned this with like the hip thrust, but I've been getting a really good pump in my glutes and my hips with them, and I think it'll just be a good rehab exercise, because that was one of the things that I was really trying to look forward, and a lot of like the rehab or a lot of the like hip fixes, the squat university type stuff is just something to put some hypertrophy in that area in my glutes and hip. And a lot of the movements are fine, but that was one that I was really feeling, and it was a bit challenging, and I was making it more challenging by having my feet wider, so like a wide stance hip thrust, if that makes sense. Kind of a weird movement, and certainly one I wouldn't want to record because it looks very odd, but one that gives me a nice little glute and hip pump as well. You notice there I did some good mornings, and I actually got a little bit sore from doing those in my hamstrings. I treated it more like a hamstring stretch than an actual exercise. It's a movement that I don't really see myself pushing too aggressively. I might add a little bit of weight, but I'm going to treat it more like just I guess a more aggressive hamstring or a dynamic hamstring stretch than anything else. But yeah, probably the lightest of the first 3 workouts. The next workout, I'm trying to think if it was the heavy Friday or not, because I think this was my Thursday workout. I want to do the big Friday still, but I changed it to be on actual Friday for the first week instead of on Saturday, because I might be playing some pickleball on Saturday, and I didn't want to play with that variable, and I was feeling pretty good on Friday. So you'll see that session wasn't anything that was radical, but did have a good session. So far all the workouts have been going well. I'm continuing to work on that hip and that IT band and all of that, and hopefully that continues to feel better and better. It hasn't been getting worse, it's been getting slowly better, so that's good. I just want to continue to strengthen that area and continue to build the mobility back in that area as well, and hopefully get back to pain-free squats. That's really kind of the last step. Is like most movements feel fine, I just feel a little weak, but squats just are a little bit painful. So as long as I get back to full range of motion squats, I think a lot of my strength will come back really quick, so I'll be able to actually like be aggressive with those. But being conservative right now with my squats and not trying to push them up as far past what's prescribed. So hopefully that changes soon, and I'll be able to hammer those out and start getting my legs really strong. But at the moment, just trying to keep them where they're at, or trying to just accrue some volume. That's not going to stress it out too much, and just trying to get back to where it was before, which will be a process. But anywho, that's it for this one. Talk to you all in the next video. Peace.